Hello and welcome back to the Power Hour with myself, your host today, Louise Power, and my guest, Sarah Farmer. We have been speaking about all things imposter syndrome and self-limiting beliefs. We've been talking, Sarah's taken us through 5-point steps. She's been taking us through why it happens, what to do about it, and everything. So there's so many golden nuggets today. Sarah, I'm completely amped up, and I know there's going to be lots of people that are going to be like, what do I do next? Because it's inspiring. You really have inspired us today. You really have inspired us. And, you know, in the break, Sarah and I were speaking, and we were speaking about the climate and where we are now and the fact that, you know, we're coming out of this pandemic, you know, and even though things are sort of starting going back to normal, we've all really been affected. Then, of course, we have the war happening in Ukraine, in Europe. So, you know, Sarah and I were speaking, and Sarah would like to speak to us about the sphere of influence. You know, there's so much going on. We have so much to contend with, but what can we do within the remit of what we can control? Yeah. So over to you, Sarah, for that.
Yeah, so there is a lot going on, and one of the classics I hear from a lot of people at the moment is, well, I shouldn't complain. You know, this is hardly important, is it? Because look at what's happening in the Ukraine, or look at what just happened with COVID. And my answer to them is your life is your sphere. That this is the thing that you can have some influence and control over. And when we kind of give up all our thoughts and all our energy to what's on the outside, which is the bit we have no control of. So I'm talking about the sphere of influence. You can look it up on anywhere. It's there. It's really simple. There's a circle in the middle, which is what we can control. There's the inner circle, which is what we can influence. And then there's this outer circle, which is everything we have no control over. When we focus on what we can't control, we become helpless.
Right.
And when we feel helpless, our resilience drops. So it's really bad for us. So these people that are saying, oh, I shouldn't be worrying about this and I shouldn't be worrying about that, what I say to them is have a healthy respect and care and empathy for these things. But if you make it your life, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, if you want to, that's entirely up to you, but not everybody can make it their life. Do what you can do within your influence and control to make it better. Maybe you're posting on social media to support people. Maybe you're collecting donations. Do something helpful. But coming away from that and looking at just this in general, as humans, we focus on what we can't control.
Yeah.
We focus on what really gives us the fear and what we're really worried about. And I try to help people and successfully help people come back into what can you control and what can you influence. Then you build your resilience. Then you feel better because you're doing something productive and you're not wasting energy. And let's remember, we only have one bucket of energy to work within. We don't, you know, we can't go and fill up. We can't go and fill up at a station. And if we did, it would cost too much.
We can't plug in yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got plans for us in the future.
Yeah, but we can't. So we need to use our energy wisely. And those people that learn to recognize very quickly, am I focusing on what I cannot control? And should I park that for a while and focus on what I can do, are much more, or they're healthier, they're happier, they're more resilient, and they tend to be more successful because they are looking for solutions. They're not looking for problems. So this isn't just about breaking the bias. This isn't just about what's happening with the war. This is about humans being humans, anybody, anywhere. If you're focusing on what you cannot control, you're wasting energy. Try and look for, well, actually don't try, just look for what you can influence. Now, an example of this is, well, I can't control if I get a job or not. I can't control what happens in the interview. Oh, yes, you can. You just don't know what it is to control it yet. You don't know about managing your mindset. Maybe you don't know about communication effectiveness. Maybe you don't know how to handle objections or get that elephant in the room out, how to demonstrate empathy. Other people will know that and they can help you with it, me being one of them. There are so many people out there, you know, there's career coaches, there's all sorts of coaches that can teach you stuff. These things are within your control and within your influence to learn. So stop focusing on the fact you can't get the job because it's not in your sphere of influence. It is. You've just chosen to give it up. Yeah. You've given away your power to somebody else. And that is when you feel powerless instead of powerful and this unshakable belief in yourself.
So inspirational. And even if I'm just thinking, I don't get the job. That would also be out of my control. I can only control the way that I conduct myself, the way that I believe in what I'm doing at the time of the application.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
What a fantastic way of looking at it. This really does, even for me, who's quite somebody that's quite positive, the glass is half full, we're all human and we get our days, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we were saying this in the break, weren't we, as well, we're not immune to this, even though we are glass half full kind of people. We have moments when things aren't great. We have moments when we have to dig deep, and that's being human. But actually, there's a whole range of emotions every human needs to feel. And if we said we didn't feel some of them, that would be untrue and would become unhealthy. You can't feel pure joy if you haven't felt pure sadness.
Wow.
It's you've got to have both.
Powerful. That's powerful.
And actually, it is powerful, and it's really, it hit me because I was trying to hide from pain. Right. I never wanted to feel it. I never wanted to be upset. I never wanted to cry. I was I couldn't cry, just go angry instead. Now,
thank you for your honesty.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Now I can cry at anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do.
So how did you go from not being able to cry to releasing those emotions?
Therapy.
Right.
Well, to be honest, yes, I did have quite a bit of counselling, which I thought was incredibly useful. Well, I didn't think it was. It was incredibly useful. It really helped me. I learned a lot about myself. I read a lot of books. I learned a lot about how the brain works, and I made a choice. I made a choice to be happier by changing what was making me unhappy, which was my automatic reaction to be angry and disappointed about things. It's still under check, it's still there. Something that's really important to remember is even when we make these changes in our brain, unless you have some major trauma to your brain, like an accident where some of your brain dies, right? These neurological pathways, like these motorways in your brain, these beliefs that your thoughts run along, they're still there. And what we need to do is create new ones, which is hard work, and keep going down them and traveling down them until they become our preferred road. Whilst the other one gets bumpy and old and holy and not very attractive to go down. So it is hard work, but remember, it's easy to go back because they are there. So practice, keep reading, keep learning, keep surrounding yourself with people that are your tribe. I just had a thought. That's where probably phobias and lots of things come from, because people are worrying about being in control. But that's probably another... How many seconds have we got? So just so much to say. Tell everybody where they can find you, how they can connect with you, anything you're doing next, what's going on. Okay, come and find me on LinkedIn, Sarah Farmer, Global Executive Coach, easy to find. My face looks like this if you're watching it. I haven't got anything else on there, but just come and find me. There's some sessions you can get involved in to help you with this. There's a course coming up on this starting in April. So yeah, get in touch and let's see how many people we can help create more unshakable beliefs so they go out and do whatever it is they want to do and have a great life. This has been such an amazing session. Earlier on, we had a joke about energy and being plugged in and thinking that maybe later on in life technology will coexist with us in some way. We're already plugged in a virtual sense anyway, but I think transferable energy is so important. I have to say, you have fabulous energy. It's been brilliant being in the studio today. I feel amped up, I feel connected. It's been so lovely, and I can't believe in 2 years we've not met. And now we have. So you have been locked into Revive FM 94.0 on the Power Hour with myself, Louise Power, and Global Executive Coach Sarah Farmer. Thank you ever so much. Thank you for having me. Please log in again next year. Next week. So you can get over all the excitement. And have a good afternoon. Take care. Bye, everyone. Bye.